Hey guys, what's up? It's Pat here. I'm here in my home office in San Diego, and I wanted to give you a behind the scenes look at some of the stuff that happens with my editorial calendar. A lot of you have been complimenting us, my team and I, thank you, for how consistent we've been and the kind of content we've been coming out lately. And I wanted to shoot this video really quick to show you a little bit of the spreadsheets that we use and a particular tool that we use that has helped more than anything. So before we get to that, just want to thank you for being here, and let's cue the intro. All right, so welcome to our Flynn or Team Flynn editorial pipeline. What you're looking at is a Google spreadsheet that we use internally to help us keep track of the content that we have that is coming out and content that we have already come out with. And this has become a very useful tool for us because we as a team need to all understand what's coming next so we can all be on the same page. And for me, it's something that I haven't really been doing until the past year when we hired a person named Janna, who is now our content manager. And she implemented this strategy. It's been very useful. So I'm happy to walk you through this and show you exactly what parts are here in case you wanted to incorporate this, or maybe you have something similar and you can borrow a few things from us. But you're going to hear her in the upcoming episode, if it's not out already, episode 215 of the Smart Passive Income podcast. So as you can see here, there's a calendar, and each sort of row is broken up into the different months. So we can see how many blog posts are coming out, podcast episodes, and also SPI TV episodes. Now, some of you might not have blog posts, podcast episodes, and YouTube channel or TV related things coming out in the same month or on a more consistent basis like we do with Monday, Wednesday, Friday, respectively. But whatever the case may be, you need to set up a calendar and you need to be able to plan ahead. And that's the one thing that has helped more than anything with helping us stay consistent, and that is planning ahead. And you can see the time we're recording this is May of 2016, which is down here. And you can see here's what's happening. Here's what stuff has been recorded. We also put when things are going to be recorded in terms of interviews. But it's planned all the way through August. Now, what does the yellow mean? The yellow means those are things that are actually finalized. White means, or non-highlighted means, that those are ideas that we're finalizing. So the title isn't necessarily finalized yet, and all those kinds of things. But as you can see, this becomes a very useful matrix for us, and it also helps us wrap around what is happening in and around certain promotions. So if we have a promotion coming up for a book, for example, that happened in February. You could see here, week 1 of February, Will It Fly, my book, is live. And we could plan beforehand what is coming up next. So here are the launch details. Why did I write Will It Fly? That was a podcast episode 197 here. The Will It Fly book launch party, which was going to announce the book party and the upcoming launch and sort of tease that a little bit. Marketing behind Will It Fly. So all of these months or weeks here that I'm highlighting right now are all and around that launch, and you should be able to do the same thing too. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is sort of just on a week-to-week basis open up a new blog post and say, what am I going to write about today? Because trying to pick the right topic, that in of itself is a big challenge. And to do that and write a post and just kind of go on the fly, do yourself a favor, plan ahead. And this is something we use. You can create the spreadsheet you want in the way that you want, but this is something that really helps us. Now, if you look at the bottom here, there's a lot of other tabs that are really helpful to us for some of the other components of Smart Passive Income. So down here, for example, is SpeakPipe, and this is where we actually collect all the questions coming in from speakpipe.com that I then select, and they're highlighted based on what I've already recorded an answer for what might be something that is useful that we haven't talked about yet, or I recorded an episode yet about. So there's a lot here. There's over 2,000 questions that have come in, and I hand select those, and I put them or drag and drop them into this spreadsheet, which is our Ask Pat spreadsheet, which gives us information on the episode number, the emails from those people who have left those questions, the question itself, whether or not they're recorded, and also the quote of the day, because those are in there too, plus sponsorship data, and then we can collect and keep track of all of the income data to go along with those too. So again, creating spreadsheets is a great way for you to plan ahead, but also keep track. So if I ever have to go back and figure out if I've done an episode already, I don't have to go into my Ask Pat player or on SoundCloud or on iTunes. I can just go right here, click Command F or Control F to find keywords and see if those things have been done already. And this helps us out quite a bit. So as you can see, this goes all the way through June, and these ones have yet to be recorded. I'm actually tasked to do those right after I record this ScreenFlow video for you. But again, these are some of the behind the scenes things that I wanted to share with you. Some other things that might be useful to you, some of these success stories. I'm collecting success stories from the SPI readers. There's a ton of them, which is great. And these ones have come in via an email, in a call to action, in a podcast episode, and we're keeping track of those so that I can ask those people to be guests on the show or highlight their story in some way, shape, or form in the future. And yeah, there's a lot of things here that I believe you can find useful. And, yes, it might be a little overwhelming, but again, this all didn't happen and was built overnight. These were things that happened over time, and we added columns as we needed them. And you can see here, for example, the book club stuff that was recently added because we're doing a book a month now. patsbookclub.com for those of you who are interested in joining my book club. And yeah, so just again, planning ahead is great, but also for keeping track, keep spreadsheets for your content. You must do this to wrap your head around what's going on. And again, the worst thing you could do is stare at a blank screen and try to figure out what to do as you're doing it. I had mentioned earlier that there's a tool that I use that has been really helpful for myself and for my team to help manage everybody's tasks and also manage the blog content that's coming out. And also, what's cool about this tool is it can become your best friend when it comes to social media and promotion. This tool itself has not only helped my team and with the production and staying consistent, but it has also helped us get a lot more traffic back to the site and get more out of the content that I've been publishing, which is what we all want to do. We work so hard on the content that we write, that we record, that we edit, and all that stuff. And we want to maximize the impact it has. And CoSchedule can help you do that. You may have heard me talk about CoSchedule before. You may have heard Garrett Moon on the show. He's talked about editorial calendars and keeping track of your schedules and all that stuff. And CoSchedule is a sponsor for the SPI podcast too. So if you want to check out CoSchedule.com, you can actually check it out for 30 days for free by going to CoSchedule.com/SPI. And that'll redirect you to here where you just, for 30 days, no credit cards or anything required. Just put in your name, email, and a password, and you can get access to it for 30 days and check it out. Now, what's cool about CoSchedule, it's a web application, so you can do all of this stuff on the web, but it also connects with and talks to your blog and your website. And so it's a WordPress plugin as well. And you can do a lot of the same things off of your WordPress dashboard that you can do here on the app. Now I'm going to log in and show you exactly what this looks like on the web and then go into WordPress and show you some of the fancy features it has and how this might be able to help you. Yes, this is something you have to pay for, but again, 30-day free trial for you if you go to CoSchedule.com/SPI. So I'm going to sign in now, and I think it has my password saved, so I don't need to sign in. And here's my dashboard. So here I can see a lot of the notifications. These are members of my team who are talking with each other about the different tasks and blog posts and podcast episodes that are being published. I also manage what emails go out for the book club, for my ambassador list, and a few other email lists here too, because I'm not writing all these things, and I have a lot of team members who are helping me with a lot of the content that's being produced now too, which is really cool. Over here on the right-hand side, you can see the tasks that have been assigned to me by Janna. Thank you, Janna. I know you're watching this. And these are things that I know I have to do. This one I have to record. I have to record these episodes of Ask Pat and an ad spot for an SPI episode, and this tells me that. I can actually click on one of these, for example, and it takes me to this particular podcast episode that I need to record an ad spot for, and it shows me all the things that needs to happen. So these are things that can be copy-pasted into tasks that you know you have to do every single time. So for example, this podcast episode, which is going to be published by Elise, who's on my team, I recorded the episode and I uploaded that interview. Then I have to record the ad spot here. Then Toby goes in and edits the podcast. And when he's done, he clicks on this. And that shows Mindy that it's time to produce the transcript. And it goes down, 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 all the way until scheduling tweets and then publishing the episode, which is then already scheduled for the 29th of June, which is really cool. And you can actually edit this in WordPress too. So when you create a new post in CoSchedule, it actually creates it for you in WordPress too. So if I click on this to edit in WordPress, I should see this episode pop up in WordPress, and I'm going to keep talking to stall a little bit as it loads. And as you can see, this episode has already been drafted. There's no content here yet because Elise hasn't been tasked to, or it's not yet in her schedule to do this. Speaking of schedule, let me go back. If you let me click out of this. If you go to calendar here on the left-hand side, which is actually what you're seeing already, you get this really great matrix of everybody's tasks and when they're actually due. And you can see a lot of things that are due for me and things that I've already done that have been marked off. And I can actually filter this by going here, clicking off blog posts that are being published, clicking off content, clicking off social media posts, which I'll get to in a second. And here are all the tasks that I have to do. And this becomes a really great way for me to know daily what it is that I'm supposed to do and when. And this is by far the number one calendar that I use. I know I still use Google Calendar for a number of different things, but when I go into a day, this is the calendar I look at, so I know exactly what I need to do. There's no thinking about what I have to do next because it's already tasked for me and in here, which is great. So let me get some of these things back on. Let me get to social profiles. You can see here one social profile. This is my Twitter account, and you can see when certain posts are going live. Yes, you can actually pre-write your social posts to go out, and that is based on the particular blog post or podcast episode that you have coming out. So let me get into, let's see, there's a post coming out on the 23rd. So let me click on this one. And you can see here, this is like before. Click that off. And all the categories are selected here. I am the author. It's scheduled to go out on the 23rd of May at 8 a.m. All these tasks have already been done. I'm actually going to go into WordPress and show you what that looks like now that this is already complete. And these social media posts are already written. So I can even add more here if I wanted to. We typically have one go out that we pre-write that's published on the same day. It even pulls the image from that particular blog post. And then the day after it's published, it goes out 2 more times. Now I can set it to go a week after. So I'm going to go plus here. I'm going to select my Twitter account. And then I'm going to do an image post. It's going to pull that image. That's what it's going to look like. And then I'm going to put, hey, in case you missed it, here's a popular post from last week. And then I'm going to click, let's see, best time. I'm going to do between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. And then I'm going to do, let's do 6 days after I publish. Add message. And now that's in the queue. And that will be there on, it should say the date, May 29th. So let's go back into the calendar. Let's save this. May 29th. And here it is. Hey, in case you missed it, here's a popular post. So this social post is scheduled to go out at that time, and it was that easy to go into. So let me go back to the 23rd, this post that is, again, already finished. And I'm going to show you actually what I do when I'm tasked to write. So when I'm tasked to write, of course, all these check marks aren't there. The first one is my job first, which is to start drafting the post. And all I see here is a comment from Janna every time for whatever day it is that I know I need to write a post. I click on this Google Doc link that she's already created. And what this does is it opens a Google Doc that she's pre-opened and pre-made that has the title of the blog post, because that's where I write. And that's where the team knows to go to get my stuff. And this was determined based on, in terms of the tool that I use, Google Docs, that's where I feel most comfortable writing. If it was something else, it would be something else. But it's very easy for me to just go into CoSchedule, click on that link, begin writing. Sometimes Janna or other team members even have prompts or bullet points in there for me at the top when I start a new post, just so I'm never going into a post or a podcast episode like, what am I going to write about today? So this is how we write content, and then it gets put into this sort of workflow here, which is really cool. Now I'm going to go to this particular post in WordPress and show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go edit in WordPress. And here it is. Again, how to repurpose your content like a machine. All those categories have been mentioned, scheduled for May 23rd. And you can actually edit those social posts down here too. You can see it all here at the bottom of your WordPress dashboard for your particular post, not your dashboard, but for your post that you're on. And you can even see the tasks that have been done and the comments that were made, again, related to this particular podcast or blog post too. So again, this is a really, really useful tool. It's changed the game for us in terms of staying consistent, being able to communicate specifically without bombarding our emails. I find even more convenient than Slack because it's directly tied to WordPress and your blog posts, and it's a really easy way to communicate within the team too. So that's that. Was there anything else I wanted to show you? You can actually click on the calendar here. You can view your calendar and your tasks here too. If you wanted to, you can also see who's on your team. You can see, that's the last thing I wanted to show you. So this is related to your social activity for your post to show you which ones are most popular. So if I click here on top posts, you can do this within the web app too. I can then see what are my all-time top posts. Now, ignore the homepage. That's something that is obviously going to be one of the top ones if that's selectable here, because most people are going to your homepage and will share your homepage. But under that, you can see this is for all time in all posts. I can see what the top posts are. And number one is, not to anybody's surprise really, is how to start a podcast, Pat's complete step-by-step podcasting tutorial. And it gives me statistics. Twitter is not yet working for some reason, and CoSchedule has an announcement here. But again, they're very on top of things, which is great. But you could see over 1,000 Facebook shares, 641 Pinterest posts, or pins, and 220 Google Plus shares. I can, now knowing that this is a top post, although I already did know it was a top post, I can see that there are no upcoming social posts to promote these top posts. Well, I can create them right here. So I can go to Share Post, and just like before, underneath the blog post, when you were crafting it, in a little module that pops up, I can have this go out right now, actually, if I wanted to. So I'm going to go my most popular post ever. Check it out. And then it pulled the title already. As you can see, it gives you a preview, which is really nice. Check it out. How to start a podcast, Pat's complete step-by-step podcasting tutorial. smartpassiveincome.com/slug. And slug pulls the permalink or the URL or the web address from that particular post. And it's going to automatically do it for me. So I'm going to click add message. And it's creating message, one upcoming, and it should be sent out very soon. I don't know if we'll be able to actually see it turn over, but now we see one upcoming post, and I can just schedule as many as I want for all of these. And if, in fact, I should have, oh, there it went, 1 sent, 0 upcoming, which was nice to have it done there live for you, which is cool. But this is, again, a way for you to see what's popular. It pulls from all the stats on social media, and it allows you to, again, reshare those posts, which you should absolutely be doing because these are some of your top posts. So again, this is a tool called CoSchedule. And if you go to coschedule.com/SPI, coschedule.com/SPI, that'll allow you to get, normally it's a 14-day free trial, but I think with this one, it's exclusive for SPI listeners. No credit card required. Cancel anytime. You could try it out for 30 days for free. Go to coschedule.com/SPI. And I hope you guys enjoyed checking out the behind the scenes on, how we get content done consistently, and some of the tools that we use. So thank you so much. Appreciate you, and all the best of luck to you and your content as you move forward in your blogging journey. Cheers.